Welcome back to the MLG stream covering the Neo Star League semifinals and finals. We're now here in the third place match between XY and Courage. Of course, it's tied up 1-1. And this is great right into game 3. So here we are, game 3. The winner of this gets third place and takes home all the money and glory. Well, not all the money. The guys that get first and second get actually get more money, but more money than the loser. Of course, can buy a good number of cheeseburgers with a nice third place prize. This is the biggest tournament. It's the biggest tournament with exclusively Chinese and Taiwanese players. All the best players from China and Taiwan are here in this tournament. And here we are with XY against Courage. The bottom right-hand location of Whirlwind. The red Terran XY. And of course his opponent, the blue Zerg at the upper right. We have Courage. And this is a situation where XY has got to be nervous because after he killed all those drones last game, he probably thought like, oh well, I've got an easy win, right? But then the fact that he actually had to work for it and he had to like multitask and drop, like he actually had to work for that win even after he got the drone kills. That might make him a little nervous going into game 3. He does have a really cool icon by his command center. He's got is this like an eyeball and it's a dragon. But you know, if you don't see the dragon,
dude, that thing is sick.
You could say it's a fireball with an eye in it, right?
True.
And Hellions use flamethrowers.
They do.
So
that's a really cool. I wonder how you get that.
Yeah. Let's see what we have the Zerg player. Oh, he's covered by creep, huh? Or maybe, do only Terrans get those things? Or I guess it's something you choose.
Like maybe it was a Chinese event or something where you get that. Like,
yeah, the dragon. Because that is a Chinese dragon.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's in that style.
Yeah, it's interesting because like XY, he was like focusing on his macro that entire game. It wasn't like sometimes when Terran players they get a lot of drone kills, they'll literally just form a push and kill his opponent.
Yes.
And you know, you made a good point there as far as he actually had to work. Well, he did. Like, he was kept sending these units across the field, kept sending his production, and just kept not being as efficient as he could have been. Courage just kept being more cost efficient than XY. So ultimately, XY was able to win, but Courage was definitely being more cost efficient throughout that process until a couple of those money Widowmine hits happened. So it's interesting. I mean, Courage is going to be focusing on not letting that Hellion run by happen. That's probably a pretty high priority for him.
And you know, we're on a different map as well. Whirlwind is a pretty interesting map as far as there's a lot of open area in the middle. A lot of area to spread creep throughout, so it takes a little bit longer to spread creep across the map. But also, you know, drop play can be pretty strong on Whirlwind and you know, potentially even hidden bases on this map. If you're cross-map, hidden bases are a little bit harder to pull off, but if you're on the same side, you know, you're like Terran, you put a command center here, the odds of Zerg fighting it are pretty darn low. So we'll see if any of those happen. You know, it's been a while since I've seen a hidden base.
Yeah.
It's been a little while.
Me too. Should happen more. I want to see Nidus. Why don't people use Nidus? Makes me angry.
Yeah.
Maybe not against Terran, but
I don't know. The more Niduses, the better.
Yeah, sure.
It's a cool unit.
Maybe against Terran. Maybe against Terran. So like I see all these Zergs loving to go for the Roach Hydra against Protoss and just never incorporate a Nidus, and I'm like, why not? It's amazing. You can put your units anywhere, and you can put a Nidus anywhere you have vision, even if it's a burrowed link, some random place across the map. You don't have to have an Overlord there. So it's like, I don't know, Nick. I don't know.
You know what? Sounds like
I need to go pro, play some Zerg, and show these guys how it's done.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I need to do.
So
okay,
XY again, he likes. We saw this on what was it, on Newkirk as well. He builds kind of his depots behind the bunker. It's like he wants to be able to make a backup wall for if the bunker gets focused down easily. I mean, in this case, he has a command center as part of the wall, so it's pretty easy. I mean, it makes sense in this case, but it's interesting little format there. Again, going for, I mean, we've seen this from XY. He loves to get the fast third command center. We went command center first this game, and we see a fast third from Courage as well. So it's looking pretty similar to game 1 between XY and 2D Ming actually, because Courage, actually, and game 1 between him and Courage. Courage did get the gases before the third So it's exactly what we saw game 1 on Newkirk.
So from here, we're seeing the 2 evolution chambers go down. Courage focusing on the mid game at this point. We're not seeing any crazy fast tech of sorts. Though the layer, has it started yet?
No, he'll probably get the upgrades
And then
first. I mean, he's getting speed right now. In fact, I'm actually a little bit surprised he got speed before the upgrades. A lot of Zerg players, they know it's going to be a heavy macro game. They get the upgrades first.
Sure. So they can just get it started.
And look, it's actually layer before upgrades as well.
Yeah.
So the upgrades are going to be not super fast. In fact, they'll probably be very similar to the Terran upgrades as far as timing goes. Whereas sometimes Zerg gets a little bit of a jump start in upgrades.
Hellions looking out for that creep spread, making sure it doesn't get too crazy. Also going to check on that 3rd base. Get that early map control. There's +1 melee from the Zerg. Meanwhile, behind this, the Terran,
luckiest Overlord ever.
more barracks, more engineering base.
How did this Overlord not get killed
he
off?
will die. Do not. I think he will die.
No, the Marines showed mercy. They showed mercy.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Oh, no.
Oh, no, another Hellion run by. Courage!
No!
Courage!
Courage! Okay, here we go. Hellions coming to the main
Oh, he
base.
doesn't even have Zergian speed
He
yet
doesn't
either.
have speed.
Oh, but you know what? He does have a
kind
lot
of
of
zoning
queens.
pretty well here.
Oh, if he can trap, look at that drone trap. Well done.
He's coming around, and he's going to clean up those Hellions.
Yep. Very
That
minimal losses,
Could
actually.
have been a lot worse.
Yeah.
And now he's making a lot of lings.
Only 5. Actually, you
making
know what?
lot of
Units
lings.
lost, I think, is going to favor it. Yeah, in fact, the Terran lost more there than the Zerg. Courage's control is so good. And the Widow Mines, this could be really good, or it could almost backfire if you said he's making a lot of Zergings, if Courage goes on the attack.
Because if these Widow Mines were back home helping out,
Yeah,
it'd be a bit better.
they're like scouting Widow Mines.
Gonna burrow 1. Oh, they might both die.
Yeah, they are going to both. Well,
Oh,
I think they would have both died, but Courage lost his courage there and backed away from that. Finally, the Overlord died just
okay,
now.
so here we go. A bunch of Banelings about to be morphed outside the natural expansion of XY. He has a couple Widow Mines here, but they were already detonated. Now the Banelings coming forward one at a time there to try to mitigate the rest of the damage. The SCVs coming forward looking for something to repair it. Now the Banelings coming into the natural expansion looking for these SCVs. XY going to back up. But Courage is realizing, okay, I do not have to deal with that. A lot of bunkers here from XY.
He's going to keep trying to break this, but XY's defense this game looks very solid. Now, there is an Overseer, so we can spot the Widow Mines and take them out. Again, ooh, that was a nice Widow Mine hit. You know, he doesn't have the armor upgrade. So in game 1, he had 1/1 Zerglings, and he was using the upgrades to really help him out. This game, he just has the 1 attack. So I think things are looking much better for XY in this game than they were on Newkirk Precinct. If you look at this, he's even going up to 5 bunkers. He is actually 6. Sorry, I'm terrible at counting. I don't think this can be broken. And in fact, Courage doesn't think so either. He's building 9 drones, getting baiting speed and backing up. But I think it's going to give XY the advantage. Courage, now he's starting to attack upgrade, or the armor upgrade. But XY is going to have an upgrade advantage. He definitely has a tech advantage. I mean, he's already cranking all Widow Mines. He's getting himself some medevacs. He's got a good Widow Mine count on the field. Here comes the first drop.
I think he salvaged a couple bunkers too, realizing what's happening. Or I'm wrong, never mind.
Yeah, not yet. He will, though. Maybe. Maybe not, because he's doing drops, so he probably doesn't want to salvage them right now, right?
Sure, just to be safe.
Yeah.
Okay, gonna drop at the natural expansion. No static defense here. Drones pulled pretty fast. Only two drones dying there. And he's gonna have to lip up and pick off. So a couple utilities here behind this medevac. XY wants to make sure nothing delays the progress of his 3rd base. He just landed his 3rd base at that location, and the reason that nothing is there killing it is because of these drops happening across the map. Keeping his opponent at home or worrying about these drops means his 3rd base will stay safe.
Uh-oh, the medevac being focused down. It goes down. The other medevac's getting low as well. You know, Courage is so fast at focusing the medevacs. He's never once focused a Marine with a Queen. He's really on top of his micro. Against Widow Mines, his micro has been perfect. Against drops, his micro has been stellar as well. In fact, this medevac has got to be a little careful here with 2 Queens here. So it's going to inject and leave it alone for now. 4th hatchery is going to be built by Courage, so he's really wanting to take it a little bit longer. He's like, you know what, my initial attack didn't work out. It's all right. And you know what? I said XY is going to have the upgrade advantage, but he still hasn't started 2-2 yet. And so
Does he have...
yeah, he's at it ready for a while. He just hasn't gone ahead and started. I think XY is maybe getting a little bit nervous here.
There's an armor.
Yeah, he can't quite even afford it yet. Courage is really, I think, almost intimidating XY just by being Courage.
He's been on top of it. Everything that Courage has pretty much thrown on top of him.
It's a lot of hatcheries. He's put in a lot of hatcheries.
Can XY make drops work? And if not, how is he going to apply pressure?
I mean, there's going to be a whole bunch of mutas built very soon as there's supply to do so. And that's going to make drops a little bit tougher to execute. We do have a drop here in the natural, but, you know, Courage has this little pack of Zergians that can just buy time. Nice little Widow Mine gets some kills there. I mean, these drops, they're not like they're bad for XY. They're actually probably cost efficient, but they're not cost efficient enough to make a significant difference. Now, if you can kill the 4th base, that'd be great. If you can distract up here with this army, then the 4th can sneak up. I think it's gone undetected. In fact, he could very likely take out that hatchery.
That's a great. And now he's at the same time going to attack on the right-hand side. The idea here, distract his opponent
this is
while
all
he
distraction.
gets damaged somewhere else.
Or, you know, as long as he can get damage in one of the locations. This hatchery is going to fall down.
Wow,
I mean, there is the speedings are coming back in here to deal with this. But now there's mutas in play, so he should get this medevac at the least, and that'll be some payback. He's going to get this medevac, and then, of course, he has to worry about the 3rd base. XY is relentless with this drop play.
Targeting down that Overlord.
It's another lucky Overlord. There's been multiple lucky Overlords this game.
See, what do you think about his 3rd base position? Where do you think he's going to take his 4th base? Do you think he's going to continue leapfrogging up?
For XY or for
yeah,
Courage?
for XY.
I think XY is going to take it back further. I think so. I think it'd be pretty hard to defend against me. Oh, look at this. Coming in here, getting one of the medevacs.
Oh,
Banings need to connect with those. He lost like 2 mutas. I think there was too many speedings in front of the Banings, so they weren't able to get those connections and lost a few unnecessary mutas. But either way, both players are approaching max here. You know, Courage is using up all his lava right now. In fact, he's going to be over 100 Zerglings. He's got 80 right now, building 50 more. 130 Zerglings. That's going to be so many. Coming in here, XY's like, I want no piece of that. Drilling Claws is on the way.
Needs to make sure to pre-split. Needs to make sure to leapfrog those Widow Mines. Be as cost-efficient as possible with your units. This is the point of the game where both players, they've been macking up, they've been building their armies, and we're about to get to that point where these armies are going to start facing off. Micro, positioning, cost efficiency is going to be on the mind of both these players.
Uh-oh, Widow Mines. Ooh, just barely skirting the edge there. Very, very dangerous game playing the Muta versus Widow Mine situation. Upgrades, both players are, well, Zerg is on 2-2. XY is about to be on 2-2. There's no infestation pit yet, so Courage not really wanting to go to Hive, instead being happy to stay at lair attack. That means he's going to have to overwhelm his opponent. His 4th base is coming up again. It looks like we may... XY, I like
it's a Widow Mine field there.
Yeah, and he's not coming too up far on a creep.
Okay, here we go. He's coming in from every single direction. How much damage is going to get done here from Courage? Going to try to get this around, but there's so many Widow Mines on the ground. I'm not sure how he can actually engage this efficiently.
There was a whole massacre of Zerglings there at the bottom. But now he's actually getting this surrounded. Widow Mines clearing out some of those Zerglings, but there's still more. The medevacs are being focused down. Mutas took some damage, but wow, Courage made it work. I mean, I want to look at the units lost though. Look, and they were both very small numbers before that. Yeah. It was just one of the bloodiest battles in Zerg versus Terran history right there. Absolute massacres, and XY is being slightly cost efficient, but Courage is the one with a higher supply right now. His 4th base is just up now. Trying to do these Widow Mines. A great use of Zerglings right there. Gosh,
he doesn't even care about Widow Mines. Okay, there we go. Splitting at the last second.
Yeah.
This is one of the scariest things. If you have Banelings and you know there are Widow Mines, we're getting a number of decent Baneling detonations onto those Lings. Here come the rest of the Zerglings sprinting on into the main base, and he's in the production. The mutas are there too. Does XY have a response to the swarm of Courage?
I don't know. I mean, if it was just the mutas or just the Zerglings, maybe you could. Now, the Widow Mines can kind of help try to cut off reinforcements here. But there's still more Zerglings. The SCVs are trying to deal with Zerglings, but 2-2 upgrades. Yeah, and the mutas are here. And the Marines, if you get out maybe 10 Marines, they could deal with that. Actually, wait a minute. All the Zerglings are dead. More Marines are... Oh, but another pack of Zerglings.
That was a good Widow Mine shot.
Yeah, that Widow Mine shot might actually make or break his defense. The 3rd, though, is vulnerable. He's going to have to defend that as well. And he's using so many SCVs. The natural and main SCVs are all down.
XY desperately trying to just get a clump of Marines together so he can start defending off this attack. Wants to get more Widow Mines out. So they can look at all those Zerglings dying. Courage has to be so careful. He keeps losing so many Lings, but at this point, he doesn't care. His macro is too good. On top of his injection, just spewing more and more Lings into his opponent's main base. But again, if XY can somehow come up with a defense, if he can somehow hold on.
Yeah, you know, he has his upgrades are going to get ahead pretty soon with the armor. The Widow Mines are pulling back in here to trying to help cut off the mutas.
So many Widow Mines.
Yeah, the Widow Mines are being so cost efficient here. There's no overseers. They all got killed. But Courage just is continuing to rally units in here. He's taking out the 4th command center. SCVs are trying to retreat. The Widow Mines continue to just... Look at this. There's so many Widow Mines.
And they keep getting a lot of it.
There's only one Mulus left.
Like one of these Widow Mines is like 40 kills.
Yeah. There was one that had 20 earlier.
17,
24. One. That one's a newbie Widow Mine. 6.
Okay, so Zerg players at home, just masslings. Doesn't really matter.
Yeah, you can. They're pretty expendable.
Just mass speedlings.
Yeah, he's probably got about over 100 kills if you add up all these together. The reactors are down, so the Marines are coming out at a slower rate, but
It doesn't matter. Just mass the lanes.
the Widow Mines are actually doing so well. Meanwhile, at the third base, mutas get caught and rallied by the turrets there. This is actually kind of funny how effective these Widow Mines have been. Oh, the Overseer's here now. That's unfortunate. Poor Widow Mines.
I can't even believe.
And with those
There
going
it is.
down.
XY might be in shock there.
Yeah.
So there was that. We had that huge massive attack. And that huge massive attack there from Courage in the middle of the map. Just got the massive surround on XY. And I saw like 20 Widow Mines in the middle, but that's something I might have to look at again because it was just. I don't know how Courage was able to be so cost efficient and just clean up XY that easily.
Yeah, you know.
I'm trying to process that right now.
The Zergan count, he had 130 speedlings.
Right.
And the thing is with speedlings as opposed to, I think XY might have overspread. Because if you're spread out and your Marines aren't kind of in a tight ball situation,
Right.
the speedings all get such good surrounds and service areas, and in all the small engagements, speedings actually are cost efficient against Marines. Like 20 speedings will beat 10 Marines, right? And 130 speedings, there's like 130 speedings, there's only like 50 Marines there. So it was a situation where even if the Widow Mines kill a decent number, so many run through, and the Marines aren't in that group where they can really just mow down the speedings as they try to approach him. And even Widow Mines actually are amazing against Banings. Against Speedlings, I mean, in the end there, because they run up the ramp was really effective, but in general, often the Speedlings will actually just run past Widow Mines so fast, it will never
They won't
target
even
them.
trigger it.
Yeah, so I think he needed a better way to deal with Speedlings and more just, I think he overspread his army there, honestly.
Yeah.
I think he overspread it.
It's tricky on Whirlwind, too.
Yeah.
He was in that middle of the map where it was just massive, where the Zerg can get that surround.
Yeah, maybe he should have tried to push along the right side instead
that's what I
of
would've liked a little
going
bit
into
better.
middle or so open. It's just like, Zerg's like, and just jaws of
That's
death.
exactly what happened.
Yeah.
Courage just pouncing with the Lings, Banelings, and Mutas, able to get the victory there. He's going to go 2-1 over XY. Courage 2-1 over XY, so Courage will take home 3,000 RMB, which means we have one match.
That's like 800 cheeseburgers.
It's a lot. It's a lot of cheeseburgers.
I think it's about 800.
That means we
Maybe
have
less.
one more match to go, and it's going to be a best of 5. It's going to be the final. Who is the best in China, essentially? It's going to be Jim versus 2D Ming, and this is going to be a good one because they both look so convincing in their semifinal match.
Oh, they did. Both of them were just dominant.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's going to be the one thing I'm a little bit worried about is Courage actually looked very good against XY.
Yeah.
Probably as good as 2D Ming, and Jim took out Courage. Of course, it's a different matchup, and 2D Ming is one of those guys. Everyone's seen so many against Jim. If you watch WCS America, you see Jim. 2D Ming, you know, I think he's top 100 on Korea ladder.
He's not necessarily that name that pops out.
He's the barcode who crushes all the top pros,
Yep.
but you don't really know him as well. So he could have a lot of cool builds, a lot of cool surprises in store for Jim.
All right, guys, it's time. Best of 5 between 2D Ming and Jim. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with the finals of Neo Star League 2013.